to diversify from oil, among others, and proffered ideas on how these can be addressed.
We hear stories about, industries folding up. We need to bring back the life. And I tell you that if you go to some of the industrial hubs, especially in places like Kano and Kaduna, you would not help but shed tears. We need to bring back the vibrancy of our industrial sector. But unfortunately, you cannot have an industrial sector that is functional if you do not address the power sector. The Minister of Trade and Investment must, as a matter of course, coordinate, liaise, and work very closely with the Ministry of Power.
Critical thing for me is to be able to, create a way, whereby civil servants, and also less privileged, individuals in the society can be able to afford houses in a loan, that would be easier for them to pay back. That's why when you go to developed countries like America, Britain, you can see somebody who is a security guard, purchasing a home.
The guest said the cabinet reshuffle should serve as a warning to other ministers to be more proactive. In Abuja, Kemini Williams, Nta News.
Kogi State Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo says he will continue to leverage the land restoration efforts of the federal government and the World Bank to provide succor to communities affected by erosion and land degradation. He made the commitments when he received the federal government's Crestle and World Bank team at the government house in Lokoja. Charles Alpha reports.
For days, the World Bank and federal government Crestle implementation support mission to Kogi State toward ongoing gully rehabilitation sites in Ankpa, Okene, and Kaba to inspect the level of work done. But here, they are at the Lugard House in Lokoja to unravel more packages for Kogi, given the immense support the projects situated at the 3 senatorial districts are receiving from the governor. Crestle tax team leader Dr. Joy Agene Iganya, recognizing the pivotal role Governor Ododo is playing, announced another round of disbursement of the community revolving funds to 80 more communities in the state.
This project should be a platform for you to be able to implement your mandates when it comes to environment, when it comes to water resources, when it comes to agriculture, when it comes to jobs.
Thank you so much, sir, for choosing these people to implement ACRASA in Kogi State.
There is no one that can say that they have not seen the effect of World Bank in working in collaboration with Kogi State government.
There is no exaggeration in what we have said, that we have seen progress in Kogi State.
For a governor whose policies align with what the World Bank and Crestle are doing, said his allegiance is to his people and will not derail from the mandate to make their lives better.
It is the good you have done to people that will follow you, that your children will come to reference and benefit from. That is me. So whatever we are doing today, we are not doing anybody good. We are doing what we have signed to do for the interests of our people.
Governor Ododo, aside paying the state counterpart funds, has planted thousands of trees to mitigate impact of the changing weather. Charles Alpha, Nta News.
In other news, the Federal Road Safety Corps is ramping up efforts to make Nigeria's roads safer during the Ember months, a period known for increased travel and heightened accidents. Senior officers are gathering for a 2-day intensive training to sharpen their strategies and enhance accountability. Oyeyemi Ajayi brings us more from the event.
This is more than a routine meeting. It's a high-stakes strategy session by the Federal Road Safety Corps as it prepares for the annual Ember period, a time when Nigerian highways get busier and risk on the road runs high.
Between January to September 2024, about 3,767 people have been killed in 7,011 road traffic crashes.
The mission is to tighten operations, reduce road mishaps, and save lives. But today isn't just about the pep talks. Officers are also being called to account, reviewing past efforts and outlining their readiness for the task ahead.
We have about 16 traffic camps that we are going to create within this month. These camps are meant to respond promptly in the event of any crash. We're going to meet our target of 15 minutes target within the point response time each time it happens.
We have successfully projected all the activities of the Corps via a robust content of the National Traffic Radio with creative programs, feedback concepts through our social media handles, and effective management of public education through rallies, and moving on the wings of the media as our major strength.
This time, they are focused on strengthening the team internally, ensuring each officer is equipped and motivated for a safe and effective Ember period operation.
FRC road safety as agenda is a shared responsibility where everyone should be on board to be able to contribute his quota to reduce road traffic crashes on our Nigerian roads.
The campaign will target some of the deadliest driving habits that surge during the Ember months: reckless overtaking, overspeeding, failure to wear seat belts, lane indiscipline, and the use of worn-out tires. FRC is pledging zero tolerance for these infractions, and this time the consequences for offenders will be severe, aiming to deter risky behavior before it claims lives. Oyeyemi Ajayi, Nta News.
The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority is advancing conversations on cleaner energy transition in the sector as the agency engages stakeholders on the development and deployment of cleaner aviation fuel to achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2060. This was the second consultative stakeholders engagements on the development and deployment of cleaner fuels in Abuja to position the country's benefits from global environmental initiatives. Tokwe Alabi reports.
The demand for sustainable aviation fuel is projected to outpace supply by 2030. In Nigeria, commercial airlines fuel consumption rose from 92 to 99 billion gallons in 2023 and 2024, as the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) disclosed that each year Nigeria spent about 292.56 billion naira to import aviation fuel. As forward-leaning aviation players combine strategies to source sustainable aviation fuel, this conversation under the EU-Africa-India project is focused on the benefits of a cleaner energy transition experts to shape a clear path forward.
That the federal government, under the leadership of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has placed aviation at the center of its national economic development and is committed to the global agenda of reducing greenhouse gas emissions and transitioning to cleaner energy solutions.
That means we need to start thinking of investments to propel what it is we're looking for. And this is very important conversation here. We have private sector here in this room, and I really cannot underscore the fact that there's a need to have a merge between donor partnership, donor funding, public funding, and private funding. And this is a very important conversation we should have.
This conversation is about collective efforts to further enhance an enabling environment for renewable aviation fuels that meets global sustainability criteria. In Abuja, Tokwe Alabi, Nta News.
This is the news desk at 3 on Nta News 24. More reports in a moment. Stay with us.
News, a false information with no verifiable source presented as true story on media platforms with the sole intention of causing injuries, chaos, and disaffection between persons, groups, or countries. Fake news facilitates extremism. Fake news creates panic and distrust. Fake news breeds hatred. Fake news kills. Don't joke with it. Don't be in a rush. Verify your sources and facts. It is better late than fake. This message is brought to you by Nta News24.
Welcome back. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris says the Tinubu administration is implementing more financial support towards alleviating the pains and challenges being experienced on account of the bold economic reforms aimed at putting Nigeria back on the track of sustainable growth and prosperity. This was at a town hall engagement in Abuja with beneficiaries of the federal government's loans for micro, small and medium enterprises operators. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
Like the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, the Credit Cost Scheme, and the 200 billion naira initial funding for Consumer Credit Corporation, the Presidential Grants and Loan Scheme for Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises is set to distribute 75 billion naira as loans to Nigerians.
The goal is to further diversify the Nigerian economy, create jobs, promote value addition, revitalize our communities, and boost our exports. We fully recognize that these reforms may have caused some temporary hardship, especially for the vulnerable population. And we will do everything, this government, will do everything within its power to cushion that discomfort. These single-digit loan facilities will be complemented by the ongoing tax reforms designed to reduce the tax burden on Nigerian businesses.
This is in line with the administration's target to transform Nigeria into a $1 trillion economy by the year 2026. The government image maker assured that no part of the country will be left behind and that all Nigerians are potential beneficiaries.
Once you put your application and your applications are judged to be in conformity with the rules and regulations set out, you will indeed be a beneficiary of this. There is no need for I know someone. There is no need for connection. You apply, you get.
Similar town hall meetings are being held across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, Nta News.
The Energy Commission of Nigeria, in collaboration with the ECOWAS Commission, has officially launched the National Energy Information System, NACE, a groundbreaking initiative aimed at enhancing data collection and analysis within the country's energy sector. The NACE is designed to provide accurate and timely information on energy production, consumption and distribution, facilitating better decision-making and strategic planning. Stakeholders at the event emphasized the importance of data-driven policies in addressing the country's energy challenges.
And we're happy today to announce to Nigerians that they can go on the website that was launched today in real time to see what happens to our production data, what happens to our transportation in terms of exports, the energy exports, and also what happens in terms of our energy utilization in this country.
With this data, you will be able to see where there are leakages in the transportation. And then you will see where these energies are being driven to real time. And you know the leakages. With the leakages and what we are delivering, you'll be able to know what we are going to generate further.
Energy, as mentioned by my predecessor, is the engine of all economic development. And no energy policy can be effective if it's not based on a series of statistics.
The initiative is expected to play a crucial role in supporting Nigeria's energy transition goals and achieving long-term energy security. In a bid to promote sustainable development and environmental stewardship, the National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency, NESRIA, has launched an initiative to sensitize judicial officers on circular economy. Mina Daniels was at the workshop held in Abuja, aimed at equipping judges and magistrates with the requisite knowledge and skills required to mainstream circular economy principles in their decision-making.
Enforcement agency NESRA has organized a groundbreaking capacity building workshop focused on circular economy for judicial officers. The workshop brought together judicial officers from across the country to explore the principles of circular economy and its application in the dispensation of justice.
To understand that there is an environmental law, and there are several guidelines and frameworks that culminated into environmental laws. And when these laws are violated, there are consequences for violating them.
Judicial officers engaged in interactive sessions discussing challenges and opportunities in implementing circular economy practices in Nigerian courts, while experts highlighted the importance of integrating circular economy principles into Nigeria's judicial system, citing benefits such as reduced waste, increased resource efficiency, and job creation.
It's important that the judiciary that is going to be the administrator of this process is brought into the fore, because very often environmental violations are taken very negligibly in our environment, not only from the standpoint of the common man, but sometimes even from the point of the law.
With the judiciary on board, the country edges closer to achieving a more sustainable tomorrow. In Abuja, Minna Daniels, Nta News.
The National Automotive Design and Development Council, NADDC, is training automobile engineers on spare parts design as part of steps to address the country's huge revenue loss due to importation of vehicle component parts. NADDC's Director General Joseph Osanipin says training of some engineers on Midas NFX software automotive design skills will enhance local expertise and pave way for the development of locally produced spare parts. Tokwe Alabi reports that the boot camp was organized by the council in Abuja.
Nigeria spends over $1 billion every year to import vehicle spare parts. This underscores the urgent need for local production capabilities and advanced design training to reduce dependency on foreign imports and stimulate economic growth. This is why National Automotive Design and Development Council, NADDC, is organizing this boot camp focused on Midas NFX software training to empower local engineers and designers with the skills necessary to create high-quality vehicle components. NADDC's Director General Joseph Osanipin says despite Nigeria's strides in lubricants production, the automotive market represents a significant opportunity in harnessing local talent to design and manufacture spare parts, could stimulate job creation and enhance self-sufficiency.
There is no way you can produce any component without first of all designing it. With this, we are going to create a lot of jobs in line with the renewable agenda of our dear president. He has asked us to do everything possible.
Knowledge to be able to design components and also be able to train some other engineers.
34-year-old Yogo Robert is a previous beneficiary and now a consultant.
So if we have tools like this that could aid us in exploring what we have, I think it's a good one. We should embrace it completely.
The lack of product we receive in form of SKD, semi-knockdown, all the analysis has been done right from the manufacturer. But with the idea of Smart and NFX, we can come in to test run.
At least we are going to design automotive component at the end of the training. So I feel the training will help us a lot.
With this step by NADDC to train engineers in automotive design, Nigeria will join other countries to manufacture various vehicles and their spare parts. In Abuja, Tokwe Alabi, Nta News.
And that concludes the news desk at 3 on Nta News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Dennis Adegunloye.